welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. The Kremlin and the Russian military are creating obstacles for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in eastern Ukraine. This is according to the Ukrainian representative to the UN, Volodymyr Yelchenko. He made the remarks at a UN Security Council meeting on Ukraine. The session was initiated by Russia under the pretext of the 4th anniversary of the Minsk Agreements. To talk more about this meeting, we're joined in the studio today by Olena Snigyr. She's a leading specialist in the Center of International Studies at the Diplomatic Academy of Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, as weird as it may sound, and as weird as the whole meeting was initiated, what are the main outcomes of the meeting that you could personally outline?
I can personally outline such outcomes as the united position of Ukrainian allies, of Western allies. Even German representative was very tough on the Russian representative and Russian point of view in UN, and it was quite remarkable. All sides. The West and Ukraine, again repeated the main conditions for the peaceful settlement on the east of Ukraine. Everybody mentioned Minsk Agreement, and what is very important that Crimea was not was mentioned also.
Even though it's not a part of Minsk Agreements. Yes,
and Russia tried to put it out of this meeting, not to mention it, not to talk about it. Russian representative focused only on the Ukrainian obligations according to Minsk Agreement, and tried to, as the German representative said, that it was it was like he had the feeling that it was Ukraine who attacked Russia and occupied the part of territory of Russia, as it was like obvious from Russian representative's speech. So Ukrainian representative Volodymyr Yelchenko clearly mentioned all the basket of the problems according to Russian aggression. Minsk Agreement, occupation of the territories, Ukrainian prisoners, also Ukrainian sailors that were captured in the neutral waters of Black Sea, Russian violation of human rights in Crimea, on Donbass, and Russian occupation of Crimea, and all these issues are in, as I told already, in one basket of Russian aggression against Ukraine, and everything was mentioned during this UN Security Council meeting.
What was Russia's main message during the meeting?
Well, the main message was again that Ukraine. It's Ukrainian fault that Ukraine doesn't implement Minsk Agreement, but it's like the old story, and for everybody it is clear that Russia is lying, and also Russia is falsifying the facts. So it's all Russian stories are like fake stories, and it's manipulation, pure manipulation. So it was very clearly message from other representatives of representatives of other countries in the UN Security Council, not only by Ukraine. But what is also very important here that I would like to mention, that Russia is, it's also a tactic of Russia, a Russian tactic of endless negotiation process and endless talking about the problem. So what is a very big problem from my opinion is that we hear very firm messages from our Western allies, even from Germany, also from the United States and from Britain. But we do not see very
The actions?
Yes, actions, and we don't see that these countries are committed to their own demands.
That was my next question. Western allies, Ukrainian Western allies, have been, let's say, more active 4 years ago when the Minsk Agreements were being signed and were being at the starting point of implementation. Now, what our Western allies are doing are just expressing their point of view that, yes, Ukraine is right, and yes, Russia is an aggressor country. Talking is not going to bring the whole situation to a peaceful resolution of an armed conflict. What could be done and what needs to be done?
What we see, it's a very good question, first of all. I want to say, and what we see that there is a different position and different also kind of actions from the United States and Great Britain and other European allies or Euro-Atlantic allies. So European Union, European countries, or Europe itself is divided, and we see it very clearly. And the main division is about Nord Stream 2, and the very firm action, the very clear message to Russia, and what really could stop Russia would be probably some very tough pressure in energy sector. And not only in gas, but also in oil. Europe is the main consumer of Russian oil and gas.
What's the Ukrainian government doing to pursue this variant?
Ukrainian government is fighting, actually, is doing a lot. It's doing more than probably it can even do here. But it's also we have to take into account that European policy is very complicated, and that European Union it consists not only of political interests and security interests of 28 countries, but also of business interests.
Absolutely.
And business lobby is very, very strong there. So we are working, the Ukrainian government and Ukrainian MFA and Ukrainian ambassadors and representatives, they really try to convince our Western partners and allies that money, yes, it's not only about money, it's about your security, it's about their security, about European security. And we feel here very strong support from the American side. Let's remember the recent article in Deutsche Welle of 4 American ambassadors in European countries, where they clearly notified the threats, the number of threats from Nord Stream, and such continuation of such policy, of such deal with Russia from different European members. So we still are working, Ukraine and our Western allies are still working on this issue, but it's really complicated, and it's really there is really strong Russian lobby and a lot of business interests. That's true.
Well, we all are looking forward for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in the east of Ukraine, and for the Crimea to be integrated back into Ukraine. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
That was Olena Snigyr. She's a leading specialist in the Center of International Studies at the Diplomatic Academy of Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching UATV. Stay tuned for more.